Kevin Bronskill is in Dover.
Hey, Dr. Burrows.
Hello.
How you doing?
How are you doing today?
His psychologist, Dr. Lisa Burrows, is in her office at the Wilmington VA.
How has your week been?
It's been a good week. From a little different from last week.
Army veteran Bronskill gets therapy once a week with Dr. Burrows via a secure video hookup. That allows him to go to the Dover outpatient clinic just 5 minutes away from his home instead of driving almost an hour to the main Wilmington VA.
I could just imagine if I lived downstate and had to drive 2 hours. I probably wouldn't. I can tell you right now, I wouldn't go. I would skip my sessions. And PTSD and TBI, it's about consistency and working on things on an everyday basis.
Bronskill lives with post-traumatic stress disorder after serving in combat zones and hospitals in Iraq.
The Iraqi kids sometimes would come in burned, and you could not recognize them. It's just so difficult for you to imagine seeing kids burned.
Bronskill started therapy last spring.
It's kind of easier, especially in the beginning, to tell my story, to get my story out totally to a screen than to actually see her reaction.
Burrows started offering telemental health about a year ago and is currently treating several veterans.
Usually by the end of the first session, if not by the end of the second session, almost all of them will say to me, I kind of forget that you're on a television screen.
Dr. Burrows says a video session isn't exactly the same as an in-person therapy session, but it's still possible to develop a good rapport with a veteran.
I have to make some adjustments to the way that I look at the monitor and the camera so that they are experiencing me as looking at them and not looking at my monitor.
Telehealth makes sense for the Wilmington VA system, where over half of veterans get treatment at clinics downstate or in southern New Jersey.
Before telehealth, all of those veterans had to travel to Wilmington for any of their specialized care. Since telehealth, we can provide them with those services close to their home.
And this year, they hope to start offering primary care checkups remotely for physical health.
Lean your head back a little for me, please.
In Dover, a medical technician will hold the exam tools with cameras attached to examine a patient while a doctor looks on from Wilmington. Recently, the state of Delaware began covering telemedicine. Starting last July, Medicaid will now pay for telehealth services. 41 other states currently offer that coverage. Dr. Jerry Gallucci says downstate retirees tired of traveling to Baltimore and Philadelphia organized to bring telemedicine to Delaware.
I think it took that sort of critical mass of interest before Medicaid was convinced that this was a service that was needed in Delaware.
Gallucci thinks now more private insurers will follow suit. Back at the VA, veteran Martin Formento says his remote sessions with Dr. Lisa Burrows have helped him make major progress with his anxiety and PTSD.
Before, I would never go to places like Walmart or a busy restaurant even. I just wouldn't go. I wouldn't leave the house, But now I go places I don't even think about. It's crazy. I never thought I'd be like this. I never thought I'd be to this point.